Alright, so here we are for round 3-7. No, wow, I got that wrong. 3-5. And we're going to keep 3-7. Wow, that's a lot of rounds. Underground probably means... Thoughtseize means probably mirror match. We have a good hand for the mirror. We have a way to answer true name, a way to play true name. There's not a lot of decks that go Underground Sea into Thoughtseize besides the mirror. If this was a Storm deck, they would have cards like Cabal Therapy and Duress, ways to just not to mitigate life loss. They don't want to play Thoughtseize because of Ad Nauseam. He's going to actually take the... He's going to take an interesting one. We're going to lead with Tundra since we drew another one. We don't want our Underground getting wasted. He took an interesting one, to be honest. Deathrite is fine in the mirror, but these are like the more powerful cards. So here's his Stoneforge. We'll play our Stoneforge. Oh, a Strix. Okay, so... I mean, I think we're in the mirror. But regardless, having a bunch of true names is awesome. You know, I'm going to go get our GT since we have our true names, as well as he has Thoughtseizes and maybe Snapcasters, and I don't want him to be able to snap our Batterskull, because our Batterskulls could be useful on turn 15 potentially. And if we just don't have access to it, that might be really bad for us. Whereas a GT not only works well with true name Nemesis, but like we're set up for the mid game, and that's where we want to take advantage. And Batterskull allows us to win in the late game, and I don't want to lose access to that. So he brainstorms, goes to 2 mana. I don't know what he's going to do with it. His own GT. We could just Council's Judgment his, but... I think getting true name into play makes more sense. Like, we have an answer to his GT, and now we have a Force of Will, but I don't want to pitch true name, and I don't want to just snap off the Council Judgment and then be forced to pitch a true name to force, because we have a bunch of cards like Ponders and Brainstorms, Jaces, other Force of Wills that we're going to want to use for this. We don't want to lose one of our best cards, especially since we can go toe to toe with his GT. Okay. This play is just going to mean that neither of us get GT. And I don't want to force into like a Spell Pierce here. Yeah, and I'd much rather cycle the card. Alright, well that's perfect. That's not only going to allow us to take a crack at his hand. Oh, wow, wow. His hand is exciting. So we take Stoneforge Mystic, kill his GT and counter his sword, and then play 2 true names and try to race him. I think that's how we have to play this game. Alright, let's figure it out. He's got 4 in the air, but we have a pretty good clock, especially if we just play true name next turn. And we counter whatever he does next turn. But I don't want him to be able to sword us. Well, I don't want him to Batterskull, so that's the most important thing. Is Batterskull going to be relevant, though? So we're going to attack him for 4. Then next turn we're going to play a true name Nemesis. And the true name is going to be able to 4/4 him or 6/6 him. So let's say he goes Stoneforge against Batterskull, then we play True Name. Oh yeah, we're off by a turn. So yeah, we're forced to counter the sword. We want him to tap more mana. And we're going to vote for the Jite. I guess we didn't realize that if we just countered the Vendilion Click, we would have just easily won the game. But I thought our hand was powerful enough not to worry about that. So yeah, now if he plays sword, we counter it. If he plays Jace, I guess we counter it. Yeah, we pretty much just counter his next spell. He might play Jace if he doesn't draw land, and sword if he does. So like that could give us more information for our following turn. I mean, I don't think we're going to use any information. We're just going to jam True Name. Unless we draw Jite. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe Force of Willing. I didn't like forcing there because we had all the tools we wanted. We would get an extra card out of the deal, and we don't care about the Vendilion Click, so like I didn't feel like we needed the Jite, but I guess him playing this means he's weak to it. I mean, it could just mean he's weak to Stoneforge Mystic in it. He could have had a counter spell. All in all, I still like our board position. And I think I like our matchup. The way his non-basics look, like I don't think we have to worry about back to basics or lingering souls. He just looks like a regular Esper Stoneblade deck with more equipment, which is a reasonable matchup. He'll have Zealous Persecutions, I'll have Zealous Persecutions. Another Vendilion Click. We do care about that. We don't want to lose our True Name. Because if we counter this, we put him at lethal with the 3. But now if he swords us, again, I don't think we care about that. Like, we just get a card out of the deal. I feel like casting Ponder here seems fine. That Batterskull is going to be a wee bit too slow. And that's not a bad draw. And now he's going to have to block our Stoneforge Mystic. And he's not going to be able to fetch either. And we can counter his one spell that matters. Sword doesn't even matter anymore. Because if he swords this, that means he goes to 6 and he dies to true name this. Jace doesn't matter because he can't bounce this. So now we just have to counter this. We're not going to risk not hitting a blue card. Since we put him on a 1-turn clock. He gets to attack with 1 creature. Oh no, does he have... No, he does not. He needs a land. Actually, we can just attack with these 2 and bounce this, and he doesn't have lethal, even if he draws a land. If he doesn't block, this becomes lethal. So all in all, this wasn't a bad top deck. We did put ourselves in a potentially losing position. I don't know if we could have played any differently. We probably could have. Yeah, now we have Jace protection along with just attacking with both of these. And that won't do it. Alright, so sideboarding for this matchup. Decays are obviously very good. Vendilion Clique is great. Thoughtseizes are good for the Stoneforges. Path's great. I actually just like not having any counter magic in the matchup. It just is too slow and clunky. We want all our true names, our Vendilion Cliques. Potentially, I think we want our Zealous Persecutions. Like, he probably has True Name Nemesis. Or he has to have one of those effects. So we're going to want that. And I guess maybe we just don't want the Path. I mean, did he show us a basic? I don't remember. With recording, I can't remember. But there's a log of everything. I don't think he showed us a basic. He has to have one though. Just maybe not didn't fetch for one. Yeah, he probably has one. So Path is definitely going to be worse than Swords because we don't want to give him a land. I guess we just take out all of our counter magic. And kind of want the Lily. I want all of our cards that are good in the mirror. And this is all of it, but we don't want to cut a land because of Wasteland. I guess we have one too many cards. I'm going to have to change the deck. We have more than enough cards for these matchups. So we probably need to cut one from the deck. The Ponder's really good in the late game. I don't know. I think we want our Thoughtseizes, especially on the draw. Alright, well this seems weird, but I'm going to cut a Death Red on the draw. Oh, that seems wrong. That seems really bad. Alright, one Jace. Jace can sometimes be a little too slow. It depends on how aggressive he plays out. We'll make a change for the being on the play, but depending on how aggressive he acts, we'll be keeping this. It's fairly reactive, but we do have lands, a Brainstorm, and a Ponder, and there's his basic. We don't have counter magic, so we might as well just no, undo. Yeah, we're gonna keep the Trop and the Deathrite Shaman. Shuffle your library, no. And then we'll shuffle next turn, probably killing the Stoneforge Mystic. Or actually just casting Thoughtseize and then seeing what we have to fetch for. Alright, Strix is a little bit different. That does clean the path though for our Thoughtseize. Alright, so he has a Sword of Fire and Ice. His hand is fairly good actually. We're going to have to ignore the creatures. I think the Jace is the hardest card for us to deal with our current hand. And I think we can fight the creatures and the equipment. But we're going to want to shuffle here. And we have our green source, so we're going to go get a Scrubland and get our Deathrite online. Now next turn we're going to Brainstorm, hopefully finding some removal spells. Since we have Abrupt Gaze and Zealous Persecutions, I'm okay taking Jace. Jace can just take over the game, whereas like the other cards are just all slow and clunky. He showed us a white source, didn't he? So he's just going to probably take our Brainstorm here. Yeah, he has a Tundra in hand, so he's protecting his white source from Wasteland, which is smart, but he is showing us that he drew an Underground. And yeah, that is the correct play to make. We have an answer to his Vendilion Click now, so we don't have to waste. And look at that, we drew a Brainstorm. That was beautiful. We couldn't have asked for anything better. So we'll put this Trop. Do we want the Krakus? I do think the fetch land is going to end up grabbing us a Tropical anyway. And we want the Krakus for the Vendilion Click. Yeah, I like having access to Krakus. Just in case we don't have, in case we draw another Brainstorm, we're just going to shuffle using the Stoneforge Mystic. And we're going to go get a Jite. Start trying to take over the game with Jite. Since he showed us the card he drew, that means that his hand is Stoneforge Mystic, Sword, Brainstorm, and Tundra. Brainstorm's good. He's going to be able to Brainstorm and then potentially Stoneforge and shuffle. So this, depending on what he plays out, gives us the rest of the contents of his hand. But he knows that we have like potentially still have two swords. So going for any equipment outside of Batterskull seems really bad. Because it just wants to be a standalone threat. And that also means that we are probably going to plow this and attack with this, depending on what he does. He could have very well hit a Thoughtseize. So fetch land, so that means that if I were in his shoes, I would never attack with this no matter what, even if I have a removal spell, because now he shows that now I know that he has a removal spell. I still want to keep him around. Like, I'm not under any danger, and if I draw Zealous, I get to kill both. And this is just flashing, like this attack flashes plow. It could be Thoughtseize too, but okay. I mean, we have an answer to that, which is nice. And now here comes his Stoneforge, which we will have to plow at end of turn. We're 1 mana short of Abrupt Decay and G-Tain equipping. Yeah, there's his Batterskull. We're just going to Swords that now. We're probably going to take another hit because we want the coast to be clear for our G-Tain. So if he attacks us, we're just going to let it happen. We only want to start bouncing this once we're like attritioned out. And we can just take some more hits. Hopefully he plays land and plays Batterskull. I don't know what else is in his hand. This turn could go awry. But as long as we save this for the Batterskull, what is this? Another Stoneforge? So his hand theoretically could be 3 different equipment. Let's see what he goes and gets. He might just go get Sword of Fireness. Nope. So his hand has 3 different equipment. And he's just going to cast. Okay, so now we just get to wreck him. So the plan is to crack here, go get a tropical island, Abrupt Decay the Pithy Needle, Vial in the G-Tain, untap, draw. Wow, so good. Alright, let's think. We can equip and threaten Swords and Council's Judgment. And so we can just Council's Judgment the Batterskull. So I was thinking about bouncing this if we didn't draw anything. If he tries to equip. But now we can just equip here. I just really desperately wanted an answer to his Batterskull, which we have. So now we're going to be a little aggressive here. I'm just going to kill these off in case he has Elf's Persecution, then we're just dead. And now if he has a land, he's just going to jam Batterskull. We got an answer. And now we'll have our counters. In case he has... Oh wait, yeah, we can't. Oh, we fetched wrong. Shoot. Oh, well, we'll just use that as an answer. That works. Cannot complain about the draws we're having this game. We're still going to hold the Death right back because it can deal 2, but we can either choose to deal 2 or gain 2. and that's just a much better play. And we want to save the Council Judgment for the Batter Skull. I mean, if he thought seizes, that's bad, but okay, so you're just going to sphere both GTs. At this point, we can. I just want to get aggressive, and oh wow, all of his stuff is gone. And do I want to actually take anything from my graveyard? I guess my Brainstorm. Currently, I don't want to take anything. I mean, I guess I can take the swords too. It's difficult for me not to just want to GT and equip again. Like, I hope this doesn't come bite me, but this is going to let us fight his Batterskull as well, and we have double Deathrite Shaman. So now we have double Deathrite in play. Now he does get a jam of Batterskull, and that does mean the game's going to last longer, but we have active GT. And if you ever drew Thoughtseize for our Council Judgment, we were just dead. We still have two Snapcaster Mages to deal with Batterskull. This is worth brainstorming. Yeah, perfect. We're only going to be activating one Deathrite Shaman. But this is lethal. I mean, it's not lethal right now, but it's now we have them at dead to our Deathrites. Alright, well, that was how the Stoneforge mirrors play out often. The game ended on what turn? Does it not say? Turn 9? Oh, it's not that long. Alright, well, we're about to go into battle for round 4-6.